Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Let's Talk Assassin's Creed. This is episode 176. It is 9:30 in the evening, UK time, on the 10th of June. It's only been an hour and a bit since we saw the Assassin's Creed Shadows, what do they call it? Extended gameplay walkthrough. And I'm here, as ever, with my partner, Chris.
How you doing, guys?
Hi, mate. And we are joined by a new guest, Adam. Welcome to the show.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, welcome. And we're going to quickly talk through what we saw and what we think. Um, I've already said it and I'm just going to repeat it. I'm like a kid on Christmas Eve. I'm very excited.
Yeah,
Chris, I mean, I should say we have both been doing a live stream this evening. I was streaming on our YouTube channel, and Chris was being very fancy with his Twitch drops, and he was streaming over. Was it on the Scholars of the Creed channel,
Yeah,
Chris?
yeah,
Yeah.
just on
So
our channel.
very good,
So,
mate. So yeah, how did it go? And I mean, what did you think of what we saw?
yeah, well, I'll say first of all that thanks to everyone that came by the stream, and I hope you all got your rewards easily this time because last time there was a bit of a mess up on Ubisoft's side, not me. Um, but yeah, all went good, and what I've seen from Ubisoft Forward, I am pretty impressed by, especially Assassin's Creed. Um,
yeah,
the Neo gameplay is on another level.
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, we saw. I'm gonna just to go off script for a minute. We don't even have a script. Star Wars Outlaws. I'm looking forward to that.
Mm,
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
because I'm a Star Wars nerd anyway. Prince of Persia. We've got a new game in early access. So there's been two games this year.
Mm.
Plus, they're going to remake Sands of Time
Yeah,
for 2026.
they're really leaning into Prince of Persia, and I'm all for it, to be
Mm,
honest.
mm, it's brilliant. But I guess we should talk about Assassin's Creed, as that's what we're here for. So,
Yeah, that's what it
yeah,
is.
we saw a bit of Yasuke, and then we saw Naue do a full infiltration. Um, Adam, what did you see there? What caught your eye?
Well, first off, Yasuke, well, to be honest, I was happy to see like the the combat because it's kind of like a bit like Sekiro. It was like you can parry stuff, you can I I saw that you could break armor as well, so that's
Yeah,
like that's gonna be like really fun. And the Kanabo is just absolutely brutal.
yeah.
It's I would not want to be hit by that. It was
the Kanabo is the big
yeah,
studded
like the big
wooden
mace
club,
kind of wooden
right?
club. Yeah, yeah. It's just and it was also it's really nice to see like they paid attention to Yasuke's like social status, like the citizens were all bowing to him and everything as he walked past, and yeah, it
Yeah,
was
it was like a good mixture between half the civilians were like bowing to him and then the other half were like turning and just looking at him like
yeah,
Yeah.
gasping like, oh my God, the size of this
the
guy.
absolute unity is
And again, there's a historical precedent for that. He was renowned for being exceptionally tall by standards of the time, but even tall by today's standards.
yeah,
Yeah.
Um,
mm,
so what did we see? What I really got a bit excited about in a very childish way was Yasuke's in combat, and then we cut to Naue, who just jumps in and finishes off the last
yeah,
dude. And then you've got the choice: do you want to continue with Naue or continue with Yasuke for the mission? Um, so I got the impression that we could probably do the investigation as either character, and then probably continue the mission as either or switch as we want.
Mm.
yeah. I got that as well. Yeah, it seems like as I said, you can kind of like switch between them like any time in the open world. And I think they said that they'd be doing, you'd switch to one character and they'd be off doing their own thing and kind of like living their life, and then you switch to them and then you take control of them basically. So that kind of like makes the world seem more real in a way.
Yeah, yeah. You've done a good write up of the different weapons in use.
Yeah, yeah,
Talk us through Naoe's. She's covered in weapons and
yeah,
tools.
yeah. Well,
Talk us through her tool set.
well, she first off, you got like the classic like shurikens, um, the we haven't actually seen any smoke bombs. I think she does have them. They just haven't shown it off.
It's in the cosplay costume guide.
Yeah,
She
Yeah.
carries them on her waist. So yeah.
So they got like there's two separate types of shurikens. Like you got the bow shuriken, which is kind of like more like kind of a knife kind of shuriken. And then you got the hero shuriken, which is kind of like the classic thing you see in all those cheesy 80s films with
Mm.
that, and you can as we saw in the reveal trailer that you can throw them, and in real life they can be used for like you can set them on fire and stuff like that. Use them to like poison people as well, because if you set them on fire, then the whole gas will go off and everything. There's also we've got they called it a Ninjato katana in the cosplay guide, which is well, it's depending on your definition of it, it can be a bit murky to be honest. But Ninjato is technically a distinctly different sword from a katana, and it doesn't actually exist in real life. But like they seem to be like mashing the pop culture and the historical shinobi together, which I like
Right.
because they're both just like really cool as heck anyway. So I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
And
that's
hey, it's
interesting.
Assassin's Creed. It's the secret history. You know, we can do what we like.
Yeah, that's basically it, really. I mean, that's what they've always done, and they'll probably always continue to do that, to be honest. And then, of course, you've got the grappling hook, Chris's favorite.
Oh, aye.
Yeah, seems to be like more physics based than Syndicate's rope launcher, so you can kind of use it to your advantage. I would assume like you can kind of control it in a way to make sure that you don't like fling yourself too far.
I'm sure they did say something before about it being unpredictable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that. I'm not entirely sure. We probably won't know until we actually get our hands on it, like
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
it actually works properly. But then you've got obviously you can, as we saw in the gameplay trailer, you can like hook onto the ceilings and like hang there and like Batman style, which I loved as
Yeah.
a huge Batman fan.
That bit was brilliant because do you remember we talked about that, Chris, in maybe our last episode or the one before? Could we use that grappling hook inside
Yeah.
to get into the roof spaces or whatever? And that was cool.
Yeah, and
That was
at the
cool.
time I was thinking Splinter Cell, and then when I seen it again, like obviously you thought Batman, but my mind went straight to Splinter Cell. I was like, oh,
But
okay.
yeah,
Just hiding above them. They don't even have a clue. Love it.
Mm.
and like stalking them. It's like obviously, and you can extinguish the lights and everything.
Yeah.
One thing that I particularly really liked was the kind of the like the blowpipe, or like the like kind of like the breathing straw that you can use to breathe underwater.
Yes.
Yeah, I wasn't sure they were actually going to put that in there, but they did. So
Was that in Black Flag or Liberation? Or have I completely imagined it in Assassin's Creed before?
there was a blowpipe, but I don't think you could use it to breathe underwater.
Okay.
It's just
Okay.
like fire stuff out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, understood.
What else is there?
So sorry, what did you call the rope dart thing?
Oh,
What's
that's the Kusarigama.
Right,
ba-
okay.
It's basically
Right.
a sickle on one end and a chain, like a weight on the other end.
Right. And see that bit in the walkthrough. Did I see it correctly where she was spinning it round in circles and hitting all the bad guys around her like
Yes.
Yeah.
multiple times?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like,
that
do
looked
you remember
nuts.
was it the flail in Valhalla?
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
think had a kind of similar
Yeah, it did. Yeah,
AoE, you know.
yeah. It's just
Yeah, so it'd be the same, but like a much wider area
Yeah.
of effect.
I'm really looking forward to using that because it's like in real life it takes a lot of like training and effort to do that, because it's if you don't do it right, it's dangerous to yourself.
Yeah, you
So-
can kill yourself easily.
Yeah. Yeah, it just
This is why I'm
requires
glad we play it as a game and not in real life.
just requires a lot of skill and effort, and it's a weapon you don't see very often in
Mm.
media at
Yeah.
all. So I'm glad it's there.
Yeah, and you see it, like all the get cutting through all the bamboo, and I was
Oh
just like,
yeah,
yes, man, because that
Oh,
was one of my
yeah.
favorite things to do in Sekiro, man, was to just sit there and cut all the bamboo strands from my sword. Like, yes.
yeah.
So just a little off topic, but not really. So Sekiro, one of your most favorite games, Chris. We've spoken about it extensively.
Mhm.
Randomly on my YouTube recommendations the other day was a Sekiro boss fight, and it was one of these exhibition recordings, no damage, no hits, or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The guy was just parrying endlessly.
Mm.
It was like 20 parries, and he got one hit in. Then it was parry, 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 one hit,
Yeah.
and then the bad guy was dead. And I maybe I just missed. I don't understand the game. Right?
See,
I've
it's
missed a
because
lot, but-
there's like they've got their damage meter, but they've also got their posture meter. So
right.
the better
Yeah.
you are at parrying, like see if you get the parries like perfectly on time, you can build their posture bar up quite easily, and then it only takes you like one or two attacks, and you can take them down. But
Yeah.
that's only certain bosses. It's like there's a very wide variety of bosses in that game, and it's only like
Yeah.
the bosses that are fighting you with a sword. So yeah,
Yeah.
but I love all that parrying crap, man. I
Yeah,
think that's
yeah.
brilliant.
We saw plenty of that in
Yeah.
the video. I'm just gonna. I've got in on the other screen here. I've got the trailer, and I'm just gonna call out one thing that I spotted straight away: the cutscene where Yasuke speaks to a villager.
hmm
That's a significant visual uplift
Yeah.
compared to the previous
Pretty
cutscenes have been pretty
yeah,
bad.
pretty much all of them. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
facial animations were improved. To be honest, that like the whole game, like the whole visuals, have like seen an uplift.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
It's almost like it's a new generation of hardware.
Yeah.
What's going on?
yeah, because like Valhalla was a beautiful game. Like, don't get me wrong, but like the character models were a little iffy at times, and
Yeah.
obviously the facial animations weren't all there. So it's glad to see that they're taking advantage of new hardware.
Absolutely. The town is gorgeous. Every texture is wow.
Yeah,
It does look great.
it looks like they've like really populated the towns as well, like more so like than the other like RPG games as well.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's something I noticed.
Yeah, it feels like that town, Fukuchiyama.
Yeah,
Yeah, it felt like a busy, breathing, living town. Like
Yeah.
you said, Chris, everyone's sort of making way for Yasuke as he walks through
Yeah.
through the street.
And there's like, yeah, as Adam was saying, there's a lot of people in that town. Like, there's people in the outskirts, in the fields and stuff like that. And then in the actual town centre, there was like quite a lot of people walking about. It's very dense, and that's good.
Yeah,
That's what you
yeah.
want.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
didn't even think about social blending at the time, but I'm assuming Yasuke won't be able to social
No,
blend.
no,
So
probably not. No.
6 foot
too
tall guy
obvious.
with another foot on top for his samurai helmet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
See,
helmet. Yeah,
do you know what I kept thinking when I seen him and he's like standing next to all these people that are just tiny compared to him? It's like, see when you're playing something like Origins and you've got the big massive tank guys, you've
yeah.
got like your
Oh, yeah,
basic
like-
soldiers
like
and
the
then you've got
brutes,
the brute guys, and they're like always like 4 times the size of anyone else, man. I was like, that's like, we're that guy now.
That's true. Yeah, we are the
Yeah.
tank, aren't we? That's for
Yeah.
sure. So what was interesting after Yasuke does his melee combat, we then get a cutscene where Naoe jumps in and stabs the last guy. Is the game going to include each version of that scene, or is it just certain story missions where Yasuke is going to forget someone and Naoe is going to arrive over the rooftops, or Yasuke is going to sort of kick in the front door to finish off the last dude, or was that just one for the showcase?
I mean, it could go either way, really. It could be
Yeah.
like that, or it could end up being like where it does it in other games, where like you go to the mission start point as whatever character, but then you get there and it's like, oh, to do this mission, you need to switch to the other character. So you
Good
would need to
point.
start the
Yeah.
mission as a certain person, and then throughout wherever in the mission, you probably get the choice. Okay, you can switch now at this point. Whereas
Yeah.
out in the open world, when you're not on mission, I'm assuming you can just switch completely freely.
Mm, yeah. I'm thinking like they sort of mentioned that they work together. I don't know whether that's just kind of like just hyping it up or whether you can like switch in like in between missions kind of like or at
Mm.
certain points during a mission like say like Yasuke's attacking someone and obviously like in the trailer he misses and or just completely forgets about someone and then now it just kind of swoops in and kills the guy. So I don't know whether they'll have like scripted moments in the story, whether like one of them will come in and just like doing their own thing or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, but as Chris said, it could go either way. We don't know.
Mm.
It is a good point because they've I'm not clear on what they've hinted at. Are they saying that once you start an assassination, you're on that character? Or is it like Brotherhood, where if you get a bit stuck, you can sort of, I don't know, press an option on your tool wheel, in Brotherhood, and you could call in your assassins to clear a path. Can you just call in Yasuke to carve a path for you, or Naoe to assassinate a couple of dudes, and then she goes off again?
That would be
Or you
interesting.
switch between them as many times as you want. It will be interesting to see how it really works. Yeah, and how flexible it is.
See, I think it'd be interesting, like if you could switch at any time during the mission, and like so, say like you would sneak into the castle as Neo, take out a few prime guards, and then like open the gate for Yatsuk to get in or something like that, and then
Yeah,
you can
yeah,
switch them, and then it's like a big brawl or something.
I've got to say,
yeah,
right, I said this on the stream. I want to be a sneaky shinobi. I want to be hiding on
Yeah.
the rooftops or extinguishing lights or hanging from the rafters from my grappling hook. But when I saw Yasuke's gameplay, I just want to charge into the village,
Yeah.
just
yeah.
knock off bad dudes left and right. It looked awesome. It really did. Um, yeah, we one thing we didn't see a lot of, and I think maybe that's just how buildings were in Japan. We didn't see really any parkour other than the grappling hook and sort of
Yeah,
climbing
yeah.
vertically upwards.
Yeah.
Maybe this isn't the time to show it. And I do think, kind of like Odyssey, a lot of low buildings, not
Yeah,
really
yeah.
a lot of opportunity for exciting parkour. So maybe we won't see that. But do you know what? If I can do cool dismounts off my grappling hook and stab bad guys,
I
I'm
mean,
fine with that.
that was the first time you basically seen of Neo's gameplay, and it was basically her
Mm,
running, using the grappling hook, doing a flip and landing, and basically doing an air assassination on someone. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh my God.
it was so
yeah.
cool.
Like what I think, like buildings in Future Japan weren't exactly very tall, except you got the like the pagodas and the castle keeps, and mainly that kind of
Yeah,
that verticality. But I think what might make up for it will be like inside the buildings, like you can climb up
Mhm.
on in the rafters and like kind of like stalk your enemies from inside. And of course, they've got like the cover system, which seems to be like maybe a dedicated button press this time instead of being a snap on.
Mm.
So like Unity.
cover
So
system. I was so happy to see that.
yeah, I prefer like an actual dedicated button to like just like hug up against the wall or something like that.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm. When
Yeah,
was Syndicate the last time we had a proper cover? Was
Yeah.
Syndicate's
well,
automatic?
yeah, Syndicate,
Is it?
just you kind of lean up against the wall, and he just kind of leans
They sort
into
of
it.
press
Yeah, so
themselves
Yeah,
against.
so
Yeah,
it was Unity then, wasn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
And
was.
Unity was good because Unity had a dedicated button to sneak, well, to
Mm,
crouch,
yeah.
and then it had a dedicated button to actually go up against walls. And then not only that, I really liked the fact that whilst you're hiding up against a wall, like at a doorway or something, you could push forward and tap it again, and you'll automatically go forward through the door, or you can like
Yeah,
hold right and tap it, and you'll switch sides
yeah,
Yeah,
of
yeah.
cover. And
That's
yeah,
yeah, it's kind of like because Ubisoft had like that cover system that's been in Splinter Cell Blacklist, Watch Dogs, and
Mhm.
Splinter Cell Conviction, where it's kind of like you hold a button to move to different points of cover, and I really like that system.
Mm.
It just feels really good, and I think that was in Unity. I'm not entirely sure, but
It's I know what you're talking about, and I totally forgot that that even existed until you mentioned it. But I think Unity's is similar, but not quite the same. It's just a different take on it.
Probably
yeah,
not quite as reliable, let's be honest.
Yeah,
yeah,
Unity's cover system was finicky at best.
yeah.
yeah.
That's putting it politely.
Yeah. 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 This is a family show, you know. Um, there's one move that we saw, which is awesome, which I've just rewatched a couple of times here. She grapple hooks onto an enemy and then pulls herself towards the
Yeah,
enemy to
hmm
finish them off
finish
with.
them off.
But it
A
but you've got to
scorpion
get
move.
yeah, I like the fact you've got to get the timing right. You've still got to press R1 to assassinate. So you've still got to, you don't just sort of press a button and then sit back. You've got to engage with it and keep
Yeah,
your mind active. That was awesome. But she's got some other abilities there on her ability wheel, which we didn't see used. There's a foot, and there are others that I can't even describe. So again, we've still got a lot more to see here about what she can do.
yeah.
Um,
I'm gonna have to watch the trailer again
Yeah.
because I'll do a write up. I don't know whether I'll finish it tomorrow, but we'll see about it. But I'll do a write up about everything we've seen. Like kind of update the article I just posted today.
Mm.
So yeah,
mm. Yeah, I'll link that in the existing article in the show notes.
Yeah.
Because it was a good write up of what we saw in the previous trailer. I started taking notes while we were watching the thing today, and very quickly stopped
I
because
just
I was so
lost
busy.
interest. Yeah,
Yeah.
We're watching the trailer. We got non-lethal takedowns. So
Yeah.
it looked like she grabbed the lady by her hair and then pulled her into a room and then choked her
Yeah.
out, I suppose, so she would
Yeah.
pass out.
I think he said that there was a gameplay breakdown after the show. I think one of the developers said that he used a grappling hook to choke them out
Right.
and like drag them around, and it's a lot easier than obviously like
That's
just
brutal.
looking around a
Yeah,
dead
it's
body
brutal.
all the time. So yeah,
And we can assassinate through shoji doors
Jaws, yeah,
That
using her
was
sword.
beautiful.
there's a
Mm.
classic, the classic
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Straight out the movies, that one.
Yeah,
Mm. What was interesting was I think what we've learned, not in the trailer, not in the video today, but was it yesterday? It's only going to be the game's only going to span over a few years.
Mm.
Although we've got this season system, so it's always going to keep it interesting.
Yeah.
The story isn't going to be like Odysseys, which if you map out the story properly, it's like 25 years. Valhalla was a number of years. I don't know how long. This is going to be quite short, but we're going to see time passing. We're going to see that full year cycle growth. You know, spring, summer, autumn, and then winter, with different opportunities. Which again is really going to mix up the play out. I think keep it interesting. The one question will be, well, can we replay a mission? You know, I played this mission in the summer. Can I now redo it in the winter? One thing I did notice, the rainfall looks fantastic, much better.
Yeah.
Very much more atmospheric, much more miserable.
The rain looked heavy.
Yeah.
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 They also said it was dynamic as well, so you just be doing whatever it is you're doing, and it would just start like pelting it down.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I think the weather system's
on,
one of my. So I was just going to say, I think this weather system's one of my favorite things about this.
Yeah, it's going to make the world a lot more dynamic, isn't it? We're going to have to really think and adapt.
Yeah, it's like they've kind of taken from Assassin's Creed 3 in a lot of ways, like the Hidden Blade being a pivot one, and the weather system, and the running assassination I saw as well. That's back.
Yeah.
You seem to have a bit more momentum once you finish assassinating the enemy. So it looks like they've really made sure that Naoe is kind of, she keeps the momentum, makes the gameplay faster and more responsive, which is good because the previous 3 games weren't all that, well, a lot slower, should we say.
Yeah. I've been replaying a lot of Mirage in the last 2 weeks, and I really enjoy the game. But every assassination, you come to a dead stop, and it's a long animation, and sometimes you just want to keep the speed up. Keep moving.
Yeah, now it looks really fast.
Yeah,
really fast.
Yeah, seems to be one of the fastest we've had in a while. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how fast she is till we actually play the game, but
true.
Because like people like Connor, he felt like fluid, but not exactly the fastest man alive. Because he felt like fluid, but very like kind of heavy. Because
you're almost like being pushed down in a way.
Because he is a big lad, so it takes a lot of effort for him to get going.
He's a force of nature, is Connor.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I think out of all the protagonists, I think Cassandra's the fastest. She just see when you're just like sprinting with her, just full on. She's very fast.
Yeah.
I don't know, like between the different games, I don't know whether you'd have to like work it out to figure out how fast they are, but like there are certainly differences between the characters. I don't know whether that's intentional or down to game design or what, but there's definitely like differences between the speed of the characters.
I definitely would always aim for the faster one. That's for sure. That's what attracts me. But like I say, Yasuke's moves, knocking the helmet off that guy. It looked like again we had the health bar and the stun bar like we had in Valhalla. So if you do enough parries, a few Sekiro boys can have some fun. You'll be then get into a finisher, which that's good.
Yeah. There was also like in the gameplay demo, in the gameplay breakdown, they talked about kind of like a posture system where I didn't like fully grasp the whole thing, but it's like you can like take up a stance and there'll be like, I suppose kind of like a heavy attack that will deal more damage or do more damage to the enemy's armor. And I think it's different for every weapon as well.
I feel like we did see that. I feel like we did see change stance in the middle of a fight.
We did. You're right. He put away his club, which name I don't know.
Yeah.
And he got out his sword. So is that the stance system? Then you're thinking?
Yeah, maybe because the developer said like he had a draw attack, which is basically just unsheathing your sword and cutting at the same time.
Okay.
So I think that's what he said when he was fighting with his sword. I'll have to watch it again, of course, but
I'm going to be watching these videos. Yeah. I mean, are we going to get anything else now until close to release? I wonder.
We'll probably get a story trailer.
Yeah.
At the very least, I think. But maybe
that
not.
That was something I wanted to ask you if you'd spotted this actually on the story point. Again, I think it was something that was discussed. Maybe it was today. I heard it that you would sort of play an intro or the first, let's say, act as Naoe, and only at a certain point would Yasuke join her. And then you'd have the dual protagonist option.
Yeah.
Did you hear the same, or had you heard how they might start both of these stories?
I hadn't heard anything, but I basically assumed that you would start as Naoe because, well, we don't know when the game starts, but obviously Yasuke's got to come to Japan, and then we've got to go through maybe the first, like, a conflict between Nobunaga and Iga, which is the Tensho Iga War, which is where his Nobunaga's son attacks, fails miserably, and then Nobunaga himself attacks, and it actually works this time, and that's what you see in the reveal trailer.
Good point. Yep. And that sort of kickstarts the whole story, doesn't it, I guess?
Yeah. Although I don't know what makes Yasuke join Naoe, of course.
That's the bit we don't know. I would guess it's the death of Oda Nobunaga at the hands of the assassin. Well, it wasn't an assassin, it was at the hands of, what was his name? Mitsuhide?
Yeah, Akechi Mitsuhide. Mitsuhide who betrayed him, Although that's also, they might change that up, I don't know, to be honest. It was in Assassin's Creed Memories, wasn't it? I think, where they like they displayed the whole Nobunaga thing. I can't remember
Yeah, it was.
how it actually played out, but I don't know whether that's going to be canon or not.
That's something they've not discussed. I mean, we brought in an expert in our last episode, which is Andrew from Visions of the Past, and he filled us in on all the details of what we didn't know. But he did make a good point. They could choose to throw away all of that.
Yeah,
I hope they don't, to be honest, because I don't think it's too. You haven't got to make too many story leaps to connect with what's already been established with Ezio to Xiaojun to was it Koteka? I can't remember his name now, but
yeah, I can't remember his name either.
Yeah, the guy that brings the Brotherhood to Japan. So you can still leave that story intact, I think, without affecting the ability to tell a new story in Shadows.
Yeah, you think it would be easier for them as well because it's already established there. You just need to make a few connecting threads.
Yeah. Or as we discussed, they could just have none apart from a letter somewhere that you pick up in a bureau or something, that refers to previous events.
Yeah.
So what I saw that was quite interesting was as Yasuke rides into the village, he's giving a little bit of commentary on the area, what's going on. Now, maybe again, it's just one story they picked with all of that. I would love it if, as we ride into a new area, he gives us his observations.
Yeah.
And that's the game giving you clues as to what might be going on in the area. That's probably quite a lot of voice recording and whatever to make that happen. But it would be nice to have that. Go on, mate.
That happens in Odyssey, does it not? Because, there's been two separate times where, see the town in Kefalonia, the starting town.
Yeah.
There's been two different times where I've ran into that town and she's said something out loud, and it's been different each time. Like the first time she's like, "Oh, I wonder if I'll be able to get through here without a fight," and then she's like, "Who am I kidding? This place never changes," and all that.
Yeah. And one of the NPCs always says, "Got a job to do, Cassandra," like really condescending towards her. Still working for Marcos.
So, I mean, it could be just a take on that, or an improved version of that.
Yeah, I think it depends on where you are, in the map. I think, she'll have something to say about certain places, with that statue. She'll comment on the statue. The naked statues that they have in Greece. She'll comment on those if you choose to climb all over them and stuff like that. I don't think it's anything to do with the story. I just think it's kind of building character, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But
did we see? Sorry, just to change.
Yes.
Did anyone notice any destructible environments in this? I can't actually remember now.
I don't remember. Bamboo, yes.
The bamboo,
Oh
yeah.
That was that.
I think that was it. Oh, bamboo and the shoji doors. I think that was all that was showcased.
In the Xbox teaser yesterday, Yasuke kicks a bad guy into a market stall, which then collapses and kills the guy. Kind of a callback to the early games. So there's definitely some collapsible stuff in towns. They did say that destructible environments was sort of something they were doing more for this game.
Yeah.
We didn't see a lot of it, did we, today?
No.
And maybe it was just the wrong scenario.
No, I think again it was just that fight in the marketplace. It was just kind of everything going everywhere.
Yeah. Which I'm rewatching and it looks like a lot of fun. Adam, what's the name of that studded mace that he's
the Kanaba,
Kanaba, right?
Yeah.
It reminds me, if you remember Odyssey, it reminds me of the heavy blunt weapons that you could use with Cassandra, where some of the moves were almost like baseball moves. The way the way Cassandra would swing the bat around, and it was a fun instrument, a fun weapon to use for sure.
Just basically use your momentum and just go with it, really. That's the way you use those weapons.
Yeah, I'm rewatching the fight here in I guess you'd call it the market square, and There are some big jars around, but none of them get smashed. So could just be
I
Yeah.
bad
just
luck, of
noticed
course.
that
But
there's a bunch of red jars as well at one point. I wonder if they are
ah,
oil jars or
Oh yeah,
explosive in any way.
classic
yeah,
Because
red.
usually if it's red,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
red is fire, or red is explosive, or like in
Explodable.
Mirage, could be like bags of spice or powder or something that
Yeah.
Yeah.
you can use for cover. Um, oh, can't wait.
So
Just I want more.
dogs confirmed and monkeys confirmed
Oh
too.
yeah, yeah.
Yes,
And
you can
the
you can pet the Shiba Inu, which is
yeah,
nice.
the developers also said in the gameplay breakdown that there'll be puppies as well. Like
Oh,
like like as time passes, there you can like puppies will be born and you can like pet them as well, stuff like that.
It's amazing.
So
too wholesome, mate. Too wholesome. Sure,
uh,
we are
uh,
vicious killers, but we still like our cats and dogs.
yeah, yeah.
I'm too excited for this game.
Mm. Oh, me
Uh,
too. Me too. So, Adam, you're our guest. What was the moment when you went, oh shit, that's cool?
Um, of course, there's all that Naue stealth stuff as well. I really, I like really like when she used the Kusarigama to like pull herself towards the enemy and assassinate him. I was also really pleased to see that there was like proper parries because I think parrying is one of the most satisfying game mechanics that in gaming, to be honest. Just if it's done right, it just feels like really satisfying. Um, I don't know whether it's like Sekiro levels of parrying like satisfying, but if it's there, it's and it works, then that's great. Um,
Yeah.
I also like the obviously, if you know me, you know I love my weapons, and seeing it showcased here was just great because that's like my kind of hyper fixation is weapons, especially in this let's see Japanese weapons. So I'm eager to see like how the other weapons are used because we've seen the katanas obviously and the kusarigama, but
Mm.
I want to see like if there's any kind of like because I think they mentioned you can have two weapons on you at once. So I don't know whether I presume like the hidden blade is default on Naue because I'm not sure whether they actually count that as like a separate weapon or not.
Right.
Because you can obviously dual wield it with Tanto. I don't know how that all works, to be honest.
Mm.
That's one of the main questions I have, like whether as it counts as a separate weapon or what. I don't know, but
Yeah.
it's just I'm just really excited to see how all these different weapons interact with like all the different enemy types with their different weapons as well. Because we've seen a little bit of the Naginata as well. You know that long kind of
I love a Naginata.
that pole arm with
Yeah.
it's I really like how graceful it is, to be honest, and like and it's interesting seeing like Yasuke use it because it's like in popular culture it's more like synonymous with women using it
Mm.
and like the Onimusha, like the woman warriors and the Nobushi and also the Sohei, which are like warrior monks as well, they use it. So
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how Yasuke uses it when he's kind of like brute force precision kind of guy. As it's like not that's not what you associate with the Naginata. So I'm eager to see what that is, what that's
Yeah.
about.
Nice.
If anyone doesn't know what a Naginata is, there's an excellent scene right towards the end of Shogun where Mariko fights with one
Yeah, yeah.
against all the guards or tries to fight with them. Anyway, spoilers, I guess. No, it's not really a spoiler. Chris, how are you getting on with Shogun, by the way?
Oh, I've not got back to it yet, but I will be now. I've got more time now.
Yeah, the excitement. We hope. I love Shadows, and I'm
I'll
looking
watch
forward
it
to more
this week
content. But I need a
'cause
bit of a break. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Chris, what was your highlight? What was your oh shit moment?
Well, my oh shit moment was definitely the moment that Naui jumped using the grappling hook, done a flip, and then landed on a guy. That was the moment I was like, yes, please.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yes.
quite a lot of things I really enjoyed about this. I mean, like I said, the weather slash season system, I think, is going to really change a lot for the game. And
Mm.
yeah, I mean, give me more now. I mean, I really don't want to have to wait till November now, but I guess we're going to have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
I just hope to the dev gods that they have time to do proper debugging and everything's
Debugging.
reliable.
Yeah.
Detection
Yeah.
is reliable. That's the most that was the most frustrating thing about Valhalla. If you wanted to be a stealthy Viking, okay, why would you be? But I did. You couldn't
Yes,
really be a stealthy Viking.
Yeah.
Um, whereas Mirage, they fixed that, and Mirage is a very satisfying game to play
Yeah.
sneakily. So I just hope that all the kinks are worked out, and there's time to do that. Um, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I actually don't know how long we've been recording, but this will be a short episode just because, hey, it's been a long day. It's been a lot going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Um, anything else you want to call out, Adam? Anything else that you want to see more of or that you were concerned about?
I'm not really concerned about anything. I'd just like to see more. Like, I'd like to see more stealth. With
Mm,
Naue. Like, I want to see how the smoke bombs work. Like, can you throw it down at your feet and kind of like disappear? Like in kind of like the classic ninja style. Um, Also, I want to see like the devs mentioned that Yasuke can parkour in a daring way. I have no idea what
Hmm.
what that means because
what does that mean? Yeah.
parkour's already pretty daring as it is. So I don't know how he's going to do it with all that armor on. Like it's not that heavy, but I can't be comfortable parkouring in that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think Chris said it earlier. We didn't see any social stealth.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Um, I think like ninjas are obviously used to social stuff and like they can kind of like put on disguises and kind of like walk in the front door if they wanted to. So I don't know whether they'll kind of go that route because obviously historical ninjas did use disguises quite a bit. So
Right.
I
All
don't know how that'll work.
disguises.
Yeah, there
Okay.
was there was some kind of there was a few disguises in Mirage, wasn't there?
There was for two
Mm.
specific assassinations, spoilers, the assassination in the House of Wisdom and the eunuch costume that you needed
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
break into
yeah,
Kabiha's private quarters.
quarters.
And it was kind of fun, but you couldn't use it outside of those situations.
Yeah,
And wouldn't it be nice to have a more wider or more open disguise
yeah,
system?
yeah.
Um,
Liberation.
yeah. Yes.
Oh, liberation. Yeah, yeah. That was
Absolutely.
best use of one of the best uses of social stealth.
Yep.
Just simply because of disguises, like it was very realistic. Like you couldn't like run around in your lady disguise and stuff like that.
Mm,
I think what if they do have like a disguise system, it would be good to like restrict it in some certain way. So like certain disguises can't do certain things, otherwise it'd be illegal.
yeah.
Or yeah, now I can't actually do it because of what she's wearing. Kind of like it just like it makes you think about what disguise you're using, and obviously the social implications of using that disguise and what not to do in that disguise.
Yeah. It opens up some possibilities and closes off others.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
What about you, Chris? Anything you want to see or anything you worried about?
Yeah, again, like I'm not worried about anything really. I mean, I think Quebec do good work every time, so I'm not really
Oh,
worried.
yeah,
Um, what I want to see more of, yeah, I would like to see a bit more information about how they switch in their characters.
yeah,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
apart from that, I'm quite happy with what we've seen, and now I just want it to be November. So
yeah.
Me too. Me too. God, it can't come soon enough. Yeah. All right. listen, we're going to leave it there. This is a short and sweet episode, but Adam, very nice to have you on the show for the first time. Appreciate your knowledge of Japanese weapons. And yeah, we'll link Adam's recent article on breaking down was it last night you wrote it, Adam, breaking down the teaser trailer?
I wrote it all today and got it out today. So yeah.
All right. Yeah, we'll link that because it's a good summary. So yeah, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Chatting with us. Chris, as always, thank you for joining me.
Good talking always.
Yeah, man. And yeah, we'll speak to you all soon. Bye-bye.
Right. Cheers. See ya.